Ring the alarm. Ring the alarm, family. Listen, we are literally in a state of emergency. Ring the alarm. Ring the alarm, right? We are calling out all my spiritually gifted, my powerful, all of my ladies that are so divinely connected to God. We are calling you out right now. I'm calling myself out right now, okay? Ring the damn alarm, all right? We are in a state of emergency. We are in a state of emergency and we are calling out all of the goddesses, all the queens, all the healers, all the coaches, right? All the artists, all the musicians, all of you sacred women. We are calling you out, right? We are being called out spiritually, energetically. This winter solstice, this new moon energy is literally asking us to allow our magic and our medicine to be seen. So if y'all are gonna see me looking side to side because I got Instagram right here in front of me, and then I got YouTube here. And listen, I just had to ring the alarm, sound the alarm. It is a 911. I am telling y'all right now, I have been seeing the numbers 911 almost every day for like the past week in so many different ways. And what this is telling me spiritually is that the divine is sounding off this cosmic alarm like a wake up call, where spirit is like, we are in a time right now where it is very important for us to be I don't want to say high alert as far as like anxious go, but for us to be in our embodiment and in our magic. It is so important that right now we allow our magic and our medicine to be seen and received. So I'm just sounding the alarm to call out anybody that has been in hiding, okay? Because I have been in hiding. I know what that has been like, right? To not show up fully, to not fully embody the energy that the divine and that God was calling me to embody, right? I know what it is to literally be in hiding and not want to be seen or be afraid for people to know certain things about me or to fear vulnerability. And so I hide. I know what it means to hide literally for safety reasons. For safety reasons, I've had to hide. And so right now, we are spiritually being called out of hiding and to allow ourselves to be seen in the most divine and sacred way. Here's how it's working out, okay? First, we have the new moon in Sagittarius on today. And what this means in simple layman's terms is that there's a specific energy present that is in alignment with you, right? As above, so below. And so, what Spirit is saying with this new moon in Sagittarius is that it is time for us to venture on a new path. It is time to travel. It is time to awaken our destiny. It is time for growth and expansion. And we know that that happens on a spiritual level, on a physical level, on an emotional level. Okay. So the new moon in Sagittarius is like, it's time to grow. Let's go. And then we also have the winter solstice. And this frequency is a reflection or understanding of what it means to have your darkest day. Whenever we have a winter solstice or any type of season change, it means that we are going to be in one frequency for longer than the other. So when the winter solstice comes, what this is saying spiritually and energetically, that we are going to be residing more in darkness. The winter solstice symbolizes the darkest day. right? Where we have more night, where we have more moon rather than sun. And so when we look at correspondence and the world, life, the planet being a reflection of what is happening inside of us, this winter solstice is inviting us to look at some of the deep, dark aspects of ourselves, right? And to shine a light on it from a different perspective, from a different understanding, in a way that is truly healing and aligned with the reality that you desire. That is what we are being asked to do right now. Let me say that to you. Let me see if I can say that to you in an even simpler form. The winter solstice, it helps us to meet the parts of ourselves that we've hidden for so long, right? Because for something to be hidden means it's in the dark. Okay? So the winter solstice invites us to meet the part of ourselves that we've abandoned and rejected, or that we did not feel was safe to be seen. The new moon right now in Sagittarius is showing us that it is safe. You can come out, right? You can be your full self. You can allow yourself to live the life that you desire to live, whether that is in love, relationships, or on your spiritual path. You are in a place right now where you can make peace with your past and completely shift your future. But you got to come out of hiding, right? And so that's this energy of the black sheep, right? The black sheep is the part of us that has been made different based off of our life experiences. The black sheep is an energy or an archetype that says, I am misunderstood for whatever reason. I'm the black sheep. They don't get me. I think differently. I feel differently. I act differently. Okay? And so it's funny because that black sheep quality about us is the very thing that is needed right now. That black sheep energy is our uniqueness. It's our divine perspective. And that energy is not just for our life, but it's for the people around us. This is why the story Wicked is so good. And I haven't even watched Wicked Part 2 or whatever, Wicked for Good. Haven't even watched it, right? But I feel so connected to Elphaba, hence why I'm rocking the green today. Okay. And I feel like it's such spiritual alignment. If y'all haven't seen my the place where we are holding the women's winter winning season wine gathering is literally all pink and green. I told y'all in another video that I had went to my stepmother's AKA luncheon. So again, pink and green. And I'm like, Spirit, okay, what is this pink and green that keeps coming up? What is it trying to tell me? Oh, this is where it gets so good. Obviously, Elphaba is the black sheep. She's the differenter, right? She is gifted. She's talented. She has a magic and a medicine that she's meant to share with the world, but she's ostracized for her differentness. So she goes into hiding. Does that sound like your story? Does that sound like a part of your experience? That is definitely a part of my experience, right? having these gifts, having these talents, having these abilities that may be different, and being judged for it and therefore deciding to hide, right? I remember being in high school. Me and my homegirls, we were all out with these guys. First of all, I had no business being out with these guys, right? I definitely did because, well, you know what? That's the part that I'm integrating and healing. The fact of the matter is that I grew up in the hood. And so I've had hood ass experiences, right? And so I've been in the underworld at parties and kickbacks and all the things. I've seen all the things. And this is no coincidence. Somebody over here on Instagram just came in. Her name is Latrice. When I lived in a space and time where my inner child was frozen, when I had one of the greatest moments of going into hiding and literally like being afraid for my life, my best friend in those apartments' name was Latrice. So thank you, Latrice 1981, for just coming in and sending that message of confirmation. I first started hiding in 1996. 4 years old was when I first started learning how to hide, or that hiding was necessary. Right? I got this revelation 2 days ago. So as I've been in this inner child healing thing and kind of reliving my past so that I can come out of hiding, right? Because coming out of hiding and allowing yourself to be seen and visible, it means that you accept yourself. It means that you understand that your life experience serves a divine and sacred purpose for you, right? And you understand that if you don't accept all of these aspects of you, if you don't embrace everything that makes you you, you are simply forfeiting your own blessings, right? The very things that you've been ashamed of, when you make peace with it, they become a part of what you give back. They become a part of your abundance. They become a part of your prosperity. As long as that thing stays in shame, which means it is hidden, as long as it stays hidden, as long as it stays in shame, it cannot be used for your upliftment and for the upliftment of others, which is why the abundance and the fortune is blocked off, even though you may think you are showing up in your purpose and in your passion. There's still something missing because there's a part of you hiding. This is just what I've learned in my own experience, being the alpha of my reality. My first experience going into hiding was, from what I can remember right now, was in that apartment, Williamstown, and, you know, my mother fighting, going to war. Wow. Y'all came for Brother Joseph? Okay, y'all just gave me confirmation. Brother Joseph needs to post the women's winter winning season wine gathering. I need him to post that. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm like, I need to tell Brother Joseph to go ahead and post this event that I'm doing here in Houston. Because there's women that I've met out in person at Joseph's event that I know are from Houston, but I can't remember their names and their information. I want to invite them into the event. So thank you, everybody that came from Brother Joseph. Y'all just gave me confirmation. Babe, I need you to message Joseph. Send him the link. Tell him to post the link so the people in Houston, the women in Houston, can come to the event. But anyways, I remember first hiding when my mother would be at war, at battle with her boyfriends. Like, I didn't want to see that. So I would go and hide, right? Or I didn't want to accidentally get hit, because I've been accidentally hit. I've saw my brothers accidentally hit. as our parents were tussling, as whoever my mother was dating at the time, you know. So we learned to get out the way, right? We learned to go and hide. And so that was one of my first experiences. And what Spirit was telling me was that you needed that. I needed to hide. If I did not hide, I was in harm's way. So now that I'm not in that same space, I don't have those same fears. It is safe for that part of myself that has been stuck in hiding to come forward. I was hiding the fact that I grew up in an abusive household. I was hiding the fact that I grew up in poverty. It was easier for me to talk about growing up with an absent father for some reason. I don't know. I think it's something having to do with the mother. Because the mother is, especially for a woman, we are our mothers. And so a lot of my mother's experiences has absolutely impacted the way that I show up in life, in love, and now in my purpose. Now that I've made peace with that part of myself who learned how to hide at 4 years old, now that I've made peace with the fact that the abuse that I witnessed is the very thing that turned my psychic abilities on. Okay? What do I mean by that? When my mother and my family in general would be in these intense moments, I had to be able to read the room. I had to be able to look at the facial expressions, the subtle things that were said. I had to look at the energy. I had to look at everything that is happening around me. I had to get out of my body. I had to get out of my body and get into the frequencies of everybody else. I had to say, okay, is this attitude she's giving right now? Is she angry? Is she sad? Is she frustrated? I had to care about the feelings of other people more than my own in order to protect myself, in order to create some sort of divergence. Here's what I mean. As I've been in this healing portal of transforming that space and time when I was between the ages of 4 to 11. As I've been doing that, I've been having conversations with my brother. When I was with both of my brothers, actually. I want to show y'all a picture of them. When I was talking to my brothers about it, they all had different perspectives, different opinions, different things that they remembered. And one of the things that my younger brother, Chris, remembered was when my mom had a boyfriend over there and he accidentally bumped Chris a little bit heavy. We had a basketball goal in the living room and they were playing basketball and the guy accidentally bumped Chris a little bit hard and Chris started to cry. And this was, because we were in survival mode based off of the past experiences we've observed with my mom, any type of friction or tension, we had our guard up, right? So Chris, frustration, like, yes, it could be, okay, you're a boy, you fell, you got hurt, you cried, but also we've seen a lot. So we're kind of on edge. So me and Chris are talking about this and I'm like, yeah, you want to know what was crazy? Was when the guy bumped him and Chris started to cry and they had their, and the guy kind of was telling Chris, like, shake it off, whatever. And Chris wasn't kind of shaking it off. And my mom she's on edge because she's experienced domestic violence in different relationships. There's a little energy there. And me as a kid, as like a 5-year-old, I tell this man, I'm about to call the police on you. And then my mom tells him, yeah, I think you better leave. And so for me to be 5, 6 years old, telling a grown man, I'm about to call the police on you, that tells you how I've been conditioned as a kid, right? So the ability to read energy, this gift, this magic, it came from observing and experiencing a lot of trauma at a young age. And so if I hide that trauma, or if I am ashamed of that trauma, then I forfeit the gifts and the magic that comes from it. Okay? Put a yes in the comments if you're picking up what I'm putting down here. So that's the alphabet energy. It's the hiding your gifts, your magic, or not being able to fully operate your magic because there's some shame connected to how you even acquired it. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. I tell you, when we make peace with those parts of ourselves, our magic starts to flow more easily. So this literally has been happening to me over the last 2 weeks. I've been super intuitive and spiritual, right? I literally have a Scorpio Mercury, a Scorpio Venus, a Scorpio Pluto. So this subconscious spiritual depth energy is just who I am, right? A Pisces moon, that's just my energy. But there were times where I felt blocked in my channeling or in my ability to express my message. And it's because I was still performing. I wasn't fully embodying the magic because I was still pretending, right? And again, it's what I had to do, right? In order for me to discover more of myself. And so that's what the winter solstice is inviting us to do. It's inviting us to explore more of ourselves on a deeper level, right? That's what we're looking at. Is how can we activate that power deeply and more profoundly by honoring ourselves more holistically. And so right after I drove through that apartment, my Instagram family, I wish y'all were on YouTube, or I'm not going to say I wish. You're perfectly where I want you to be. Thank you. Right? I don't have to wish anything. If you join on YouTube, which I don't even know how you can get to my YouTube from Instagram, just type in the Healing Coach on YouTube. If you get to my YouTube, you'll be able to see some of the pictures and the videos that I'm about to show us so that we can recognize the levels and the layers of embodiment, right? I'm going to show us a little bit of my past and my hiding, right? And my needing to protect myself, just so you can get a real visual of what this is and how the more we pull back the layers, right? The more we pull back the layers of ourselves, the more we reflect, the more we allow ourselves to visit our past, the more clarity we get that is actually impactful and that makes the difference. Okay. You know what I really wanted to show y'all was a picture of little old Desiree. Man, because I've been having so many revelations and so many things that I've just been seeing, you could literally, if you go back and look at old pictures of yourself, if you go back and look at past timelines, you will see so much. You will see so much healing. You will see so much growth. You will see so much embodiment. You know what I mean? So that was number one, the alphabet effect of how we hide. We have this magic. We go into hiding. We disappear. We abandon a part of ourselves that is frozen in time. The second way that Spirit was revealing to me that we hide parts of ourselves, that this winter solstice and this new moon energy is really helping us to activate and draw out is, well, hold on, that kind of goes hand in hand. Let's go to this one. The hiding in plain sight. Oh my God, sometimes we are hiding in plain sight by, I'm back. Sometimes we are hiding in plain sight by being a part of the crowd. by surrounding ourselves with so many people, by feeling like we have to be in or a part of something. Oh, and when I was seeing this pink and green, Spirit was just revealing it to me as I was um, uh, um, in between the realms last night and this morning. I saw all of these women wearing the same color. And I was like, Spirit, why are you showing me that? What does this mean? And Spirit was like, this is you hiding in plain sight. So many of us are hiding in plain sight by being a part of the in crowd and not wanting to be set apart. That's the black sheep energy. Like, you the black sheep, but you putting down white paint all on your damn self instead of allowing you to just be you. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all D-Ray in college. I'm gonna show y'all D-Ray in college. If you're on Instagram, you probably want to come over here to YouTube, because on YouTube I'm showing pictures. And I feel like this was a part of me that was, in the in crowd, right? In the in crowd, not fully being myself, right? Because like I said, I had learned from my hood experience that being myself was scary, right? I would be in these like toxic underworld environments, right? Everybody's doing drugs or having sex or just being in a lustful spirit. I would be in these environments and I would be like, y'all don't feel that energy? Y'all don't feel that negative spirit? Y'all don't feel that? And they would be like, girl, what is you talking about? Be quiet. Nobody wants to talk about that. So what did I do? Hide. Okay. Y'all don't want to see these. Y'all don't want to be real about what we're all experiencing here. Y'all want to hide it. Oh my God, I thank you, Spirit. I thank you. I thank you for protecting me. Here's what I want you to know: that black sheep energy or frequency was never wrong. The black sheep energy was never wrong. Your intuition, the uniqueness that made you you, how you were able to read the room was never wrong, which is why you are able to stand in your God-given power now, which is why now you are the GOAT, which is why now you are the leader. The reason why I can lead the way that I lead and stand before you and speak the way that I speak and really have the energy that I have amongst people that I knew in childhood, when I was in those years of trauma and being frozen, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, why I can be around them and still be a leader, why I can be around them and still be somebody that they respect and honor, was because that black sheep quality, that differenter energy, that unique perspective that I have was right. The reason why I make friends, or the reason why I still have friends with girls that I went to college with, and we are like this, the reason why one of my girlfriends is literally coming to help me set up for the women's winter winning season wine gathering that is happening this Sunday on the winter solstice, December 21st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Share it with all the powerful, spiritual, heart-led women you know. Share this with them. Bring them in the building. It does not matter their religious beliefs. It does not matter how old they must be grown, 21 and up, of course. None of that matters. What matters is, do they have the ability to come with a heart that is open? Do they have the ability to move in love? I promise you, if you cannot move in love, you will not cross the threshold. You will not cross the threshold. Literally, I'm going to the event space an hour early to set the energy, to set the mood. My nervous system is going to be so collected, so locked in, so on point, that if you are not on the same frequency, or if you are not trying to leave on the same frequency, you can't even come in the building. You need to come in with a heart that is open so that you leave with a heart that is full and that is ready for a powerful year, period. I don't even know how I got into all of that craziness, right? Oh, I know how I did. Because I have friends that I knew in college that love the hell out of me, that I'm at the place right now where I can be like, you know what, this is me. Let me show y'all what I mean about hiding parts of yourself, right? So this is me in college. Hey, everybody over here on Instagram, I'm showing pictures of me in college. Shut up. All right, I got to say this really quickly because funny enough, my college boyfriend just came in here on my Instagram, right? And I've been thinking about this for the last few days because I think it is so funny. This college boyfriend that just joined this Instagram live, him and his best friend used to call me Miss Cleo. They used to think, let me show you the college girl they used to call Miss Cleo. Let me find the picture. I don't know. Y'all see me right here. College girl, athlete, whatever. They was calling me Miss Cleo. I was too spiritual. I was too woo-woo. I was too, who you think you is, telling the future, all of this. I laugh now. The reason why I can laugh at that now is because that is me. I'm no longer hiding it. I am magical. I am mystical. I am a manifester. I am a teacher, a guide, an energy reader. I do hold space for women. So just the other day when I was thinking about this, I was like, oh my God, they were calling me Miss Cleo. They don't even know that they were manifesting and projecting and creating my reality. See, I was hiding. When they was calling me Miss Cleo, I was kind of ashamed of that. I was like, oh my God. Why? Because I was so heavily gridded in Christianity at the time. I was so heavily gridded in Christianity that this gift that I have, this skill that I had to be able to read energy and to look at things from a higher perspective was scary because we're taught in religion, psychic can read energy, can speak directly to what people need to hear. They don't know how you know it. How do you know that? Like, what? No, you can't do that. Religion teaches us that we shouldn't do that. And there are some powerful people out there who are so gifted. So guess what I did? Because I was so heavy in religiosity and not my relationship to God, the energy, the essence itself, I hid that magic. I felt like, okay, maybe it's wrong that I know these things. How do I know these things? Maybe I shouldn't be knowing them. And so I hid that. I disclosed that part of myself. I did not fully embody it. Because for so long I was taught and made to feel like it was wrong. But now I laugh at it. So thank you, Jew. Thank you. Because that's real. Now I can make peace with that part of myself and say, yes, I am magical. Your ancestors, your grandma, your auntie, they all be coming through and talking to me. I be knowing things that I probably shouldn't know about people, but I come in love, right? I come in peace, and I'm not going to reject that part of myself anymore. We have to come out of hiding. So that was the disclosing the part of yourself, right? Put a yes in the comments if y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. I know I'm moving full steam ahead, like literally. And yeah, it's just how this energy works. We're picking up what I'm putting down. All right. So going back to when I was in college, that was a part of that experience, right? That was a part of that hiding. That was a part of that fear of just being that and knowing that. The thing that I think is so funny that I want to share with y'all about my college experience is that I started off, let me see if I can share. I started off in college having so many quote unquote friends. So many people around me, so many people that I thought I could really share myself with. Look, now you knew I was on a different level. Exactly. And that could be scary. It was scary for me, and now it's not. So I love that. So look, I was in college. And I had all of these friends. I mean, you can look at all of these pictures. Literally, when I was a freshman in college, 9 freshmen came in on the volleyball team. 9 of us. Your girl, look at your girl. Okay. If y'all are trying to figure out how I went from here to there, I'm telling you how. I'm showing you how. This is me, number one. I'm Neo, the one. We're number one in college. Okay. We're number one in college. See, I've been the magic, right? I oh God, I don't even know how to explain. God, give me the words. Give me the words. Give me the words to express this. Here's what I want you to know, all of you to know, is that it's safe for you to be who you are. It's safe for you to be who you are. Oh my God. You no longer have to hide the way that you think, the way that you feel, right? Like you no longer have to be that. You get to be your full self, and it gets to bless you and everybody else. See, I really was thinking I was the black sheep and that I was not the goat. And now I'm realizing, baby, I've been her. And that's what I'm telling you. You've been her, you've been him, right? You've been them, they, whatever you resonate with, right? Because I serve all people, no judgment. Do we understand? You were already who and what you were meant to be. The trauma, the experiences, the heartbreak, it stops you and it makes you forget. I'm looking at myself right here. When I was in high school, this is me right here in high school. The girl was giving, okay? Clock that T. The girl was giving. But why in my mind did I think I was not? Because I was told to hide. Because I was told, oh, you want to know how a lot of us black women have been told to hide? You're told that dark skin is not cute. Dark skin is not pretty. You're told if you're dark skinned, you automatically like don't qualify. You already can't get the good looking man, the athlete, the provider. You can't get any of that. Child, I broke all of those stereotypes. It's a lie. But I believed in my mind for so long that, you know, who I was as I was not given. We're taught to hide. That's how we're taught to hide, to believe the narratives of everybody else. Oh, if everybody is struggling with this, if everybody is going through that, I must be as well. No, look at your girl for prom. Given goddess. It's been given goddess. But I forgot, right? Because I was looking at how things were taken away from me, or just perpetuating an old story. Again, hiding, not wanting to be seen, not wanting to be perceived. We got to stop. I am ringing the alarm right now that it has to stop, because so many, for so long, I hadn't embodied the fullness of myself because I've been hiding out of fear of judgment. Because you know, like, it is what it is. Who gives a damn? Am I back, YouTube? Am I back? Jeez Louise, the computer just shut off. It just on ourselves on how God can show up in our lives. I am here to tell you in this winter season, in this winter solstice energy, with this new moon frequency, we are being given the opportunity to live a new life. We are being given an opportunity to graduate. I'm going to tell y'all how that came about, right? But it's time to graduate. It's time to level up. Okay? You've done enough. You've learned enough. We are in a 9-year. This is the last new moon today of a 9-year. This means our intentions for what we desire in 2026 need to be clear, need to be precise, and we need to have actionable steps. This is why I am offering the winter solstice. Am I back on? Family, y'all let me know if I am back on here. I am on StreamYard on my phone. Is it working? I really do hope that it's working. We got the Sacred Sister Circle banner behind us. We got the Sacred Sister Circle behind us. Let me see. Is it working? Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? I left y'all on a cliffhanger. Okay, we're getting the salute. That means we're here. Does that mean we're here? Wow. Guys, listen, I have no clue what that just was. The computer has totally shut down. Okay, first of all, this is a perfect moment to let y'all know the readings are now available. The winter solstice readings are now available. Babe, the link to the readings is at the very top of this video. If you can somehow um, um, copy it and drop it here, that would be great. Listen, I was over there on Instagram telling them, like, listen, this winter solstice energy is calling us out of hiding. I am calling y'all out of hiding. And listen, I'm not like, listen, there is no excuse for you to not know the ways in which you are meant to show up in your magic right now, right? Like if you are uncertain, if you are questioning, if you are like, okay, where have I been hiding? In what ways do I need to allow myself to be seen? What part of my past experience am I afraid of or I am ashamed of that is blocking my blessings? How do I need to make peace with my past so that I can show up in my magic right now? Listen, I am telling you, everybody is talking about it. You've heard it. We have been in the snake year where we've been shedding and releasing. We are in the final new moon of that shed, of that release. Next year, 2026, we enter the fire horse. That is momentum. Dream's been talking about fire. The Chinese New Year is a horse year. So this means passion and momentum, moving things quickly. I'm telling you right now, Dream and I have already started planning our Miami retreat that him and I will be hosting together in Miami. We are debating right now if it's going to be couples or if it will just be individuals, a small group of people, and we do something sacred. We're going to be asking y'all about that. What do y'all want? We're moving full steam ahead. It's done. I've planned a beautiful event in a week and a half. Done. So if you've been hesitant and you've been slow to embody because you've been hiding, you've been staying a part of the crowd, it's time for you to be set apart. It's time for you to get that winter solstice reading. Not only that, here's what I want to say. The part that I wanted to make was about hiding in plain sight. This is why many people are joining sororities and fraternities or needing a community, right? And I want to make this clear. When you join the Sacred Sister, you are joining to be of service. Our motto is heal, connect, and serve. So I expect you to share your magic. If you're not willing to share your magic, the Sacred Sister Circle is not for you. It's not a place for you to come in and just pull, right? But here's the thing, your vulnerability is also you giving. So sometimes you're not going to be giving advice or giving feedback on whatever is going on, but you being open about your experience, you sharing your light in that way is sacred, right? So we're in a time right now where spirit is like, it's time to make peace. It's time to heal that inner wounded child, reconnect, merge those it's about reclaiming your innocence. There are points in time in our lives where we have made ourselves guilty or bad for the circumstances we have faced. Right? It's time to really balance out those scales because we know that all things cannot be bad. We live a world where there's always some good in the bad and some bad in the good. That's just the reality of this life. And so we have to understand that it is our perspective and our divine will to take everything that was once bad and make it good and righteous and well. That is our responsibility. That's what we are called to do, right? And so that's what I've had to do with that part of my life in Williamstown recently. That's what I've had to do in how I reflect and see my mother, right? And the way that I judged my mother. I've decided to make peace. But what I'm noticing is that many people are hiding in community. They're hiding behind the sorority, the fraternity, right? The groups. When in reality, when you're placed in these spaces where you're asked to conform, you're meant to be the disruptor, the rebellion. So, like, again, as I was drifting off to sleep, I'm seeing all of these women in green and gold. And I'm asking Spirit, what are you showing me? And Spirit was showing me all of these women looking the same, acting the same, being the same. I mean, we see it now, right? There's a young lady that I know who doesn't really have real friends, and she's sad about it. And at one point in time, we were real friends, but she couldn't handle the reflection that I am. She couldn't, hold space for that. And so I just decided that I wasn't, dealing with her in that way. But she has always been the type of person that was craving attention, right? Craving attention, needing attention. Her parents always showered her with things instead of like real presence, real love, or making her feel valued for something other than how she looks. And so we really are just misaligned in that way. Even though she has some depth to her, the attention seeking kind of overrides. And so I've observed her just be in these different friend groups where she's always about to get into a fight with one of them, right? It's always like, I'm like, girl, these are not your friends, because every time I'm around y'all, y'all calling each other bitches and hoes, and y'all about to nuck if you buck, and we having to separate y'all. I'm confused. Y'all aren't friends. I've never been about to fight my best friends. None of them. Or not even my best friends, but people that I really hold near and dear to my heart, who we've sustained relationships, we've never been about to fight. We've disagreed. We've verbalized our disagreements. We've hashed it out. But calling you a bitch and a hoe and blasting you, I'm sorry. That's just not me. It's just too much, right? It's too much to say that out loud to a friend. But anyways, when I observe her with all of these girls, I'm like, you don't really have any friends. Well, this just happened recently where one of these so-called friends didn't like something that she did or something that she said, and ended up sending a video of her to her employee. And she was forced to resign. See, the main problem is the hiding in plain sight. It's the needing the approval and validation. So you will be in the crowd, hiding, really needing something, really not belonging in this space, but staying because you need to feel like you are a part of something. Because you haven't dealt with the abandonment, the rejection, and the lack of real love, you're seeking it from any and everybody. It could be a friend, it could be a partner, it could be a sorority, a fraternity, the hiding in plain sight. We've seen this happen over and over again. This is what's happening when people don't know how to be with themselves. They need the crowd. So we are calling you out of hiding right now. Your spirit team is calling you out of hiding. And my work through these winter solstice readings and through the women's winter winning season wine gathering is to support in that, to support in remembering and coming as you are. It's about understanding that your experiences were required in order for you to be who you were called to be. And so if you don't recognize that and embody that frequency, then you can't have the blessings and the fortune that is available to you, right? It was so funny last night as I was thinking about all the ways that we've hid. My brother told me this story, Chris. He told me how when we were living in Williamstown, they were playing Nick a Knock, and he went and he knocked on somebody's door and he ran. And the guy that he knocked on was this African man who was absolutely pissed off and tired of being called an African booty scratcher, okay? He was tired of being called bumba clotter. He was tired of just being picked on by these black kids while he's just migrated here. He's trying to figure it out and make a living in this impoverished area. So he comes outside after my brother Nick knocks on him and my brother runs and hides. He comes outside cursing, yelling, and ready to do damage. My brother Chris tells me he's literally afraid for his life. He's hiding behind the trash can because he thinks that this man is going to literally find him and kill him. Why is this even a real fear for my brother? This is a real fear for my brother, both of my brothers, because we literally had a cousin who was murdered at, I want to say, he was somewhere between 7 and like 9 years old, maybe, was literally murdered by their neighbor. We had that experience. I mean, when I was driving through the neighborhood last week, I literally relived being a kid, getting my brothers, me, my mom, all getting in the car, driving 1111, put those 1111s in the comments, driving to that cousin's house, sitting in the house, and the Channel 2 news being there, being at the house, recording us as a family and our grieving, my aunt crying in disbelief that her child has just been killed and drugged and dumped in a trash can. This is the trauma that I grew up experiencing. This is why hiding was important. This is why hiding was essential for me, for my brothers. But now I've realized that hiding those experiences and hiding those aspects of myself is also, or has also, or had also been hiding my magic. So here's what I want to ask you. Under the light of this new moon, in the frequency or in the shadow period of this winter solstice, what deep things, experiences have you been hiding that need to be revealed in order for you to embody your cosmic story? Let me even stop speaking like that. No. See, I got to stop speaking like that. Well, now, Spirit, help me to balance it out. What stories do you need to change in order to heal your finances? What story do you need to change in order to have real love in your life? Wow. What story do you need to change in order for you to live a life of purpose and show up in your power? Not just being dedicated to raising children, not just being dedicated to being someone's daughter, someone's wife, someone's employee. What narrative do you need to change to fully be you, to come out of hiding and to let yourself be seen? Literally, our abundance, our relationships, our purpose, it is all built on how much we are willing to accept ourselves. I'm just now understanding what it means to be seen. I've heard a lot of the conversations. Oh, it's nervous system regulation. It 100% is that. My nervous system has been on 100 for the past week, and it has been expanding, and I have been breathing and allowing and breathing and allowing and pushing my boundaries. I have been on go. And I'll be honest too, I barely slept. I've barely slept this past week, only because Spirit has me just moving. But I have rested. That's what I will say. I've rested. I've sat on the couch and just done nothing. I've colored. I've scrolled. I've played with my kids. I've made lots of love to my husband. Like nothing is missing. All because I said, okay, let's shift this identity, not abandon it, not throw it away. Let's say thank you. That's what I'm here to support you in realizing for this winter solstice, so that going into 2026, you have that fire horse momentum. You are moving. There ain't shit nobody can tell you. Nobody can tell you about what you can do or what you can't do. You ain't hearing it. You going for it. Let me tell you a real example. At first, I thought I was planning some little quaint event. At first, I was like, yeah, I'm going to just have some of my friends come over and we just going to do. Spirit said, no, you're not. You're done hiding. You're done doing what you know you're meant to do just where it feels safe. Get out. You got to leave the kiddie pool. You got to leave the kiddie pool. We know you know how to bring your friends together. It's time for you to do it on a greater level. It's time for you to show up in your magic massively. So this little wine tasting thing I thought I was going to be doing with 5 of my friends has turned into me doing it with 30 of my intimate friends, my distant friends, my YouTube friends, my IG friends, my sisters, my new sisters. It has now turned into me already having planned the big retreat that Dream and I are going to do in Miami. We're telling you early so that you can plan. This shift that is taking place right now is not moving you in tiny ways. It is changing us. That is why I rang the alarm. I started this with Beyonce's Ring the Alarm. Listen, I've literally been seeing 911 for days. For days. 911, 911, 911. And not in a scary sense, but just a heightened awareness. Come on, Spirit. Thank you. I'm going to get the cards. Let's get the cards. Spirit has just been saying heightened awareness. You know what I'm doing? Oh my God, for the winter solstice readings, in your reading, I will be telling you what angel numbers you are looking out for. Look at the first one for me. 777. I already know. I was born on October 7th. I lived in Williamstown's apartment. That's that place of me that I have healed and reconnected and brought out of hiding. I lived over there for 7 years. Wow. That 7th Dream, my lovely husband, is 7 years older than me. I could keep going. 777 is manifested wisdom. I want to tell you what your sacred numbers will be, right, during this season. But we're going to find this 911. I don't know if I saw 911 in here. But 911 means high alert. It means your spirit team is communicating, right? It means antennas up. It means turn on, light on. It means pay attention. It means you are being supported. The divine is coming to your rescue. All you must do is say, I am stepping into it. I am accepting this new role. I am accepting this new reality, and the support will come. That's what that 911 represents. What just fell? Right? The card that was on the top of the deck was the 888. We also have 8 of you in here right now. This is the karmic cycle. All right. All right. What about now? Can we hear me now? We should be rocking and rolling. Lord, I tell ya, when you come in with that fire, you best believe there will be resistance, but we don't do it for the resistance, right? The resistance just gives us a little climax. It gives us a little plot twist. It gives us a little up and up, right? We love a good story. A story is not good if it don't have a little resistance. Resistance isn't bad. That's the point that I'm making with the whole energy. What this winter solstice energy is coming to teach us is how our resistance builds resilience, and how our resilience really builds realignment and recognition. Well, we recognize ourselves. I recognize myself. I remember myself. I've said, like, oh my God, wait, hold on. There she is. I needed her. I missed her. I've missed her. I was like, oh, when I tell you the zeal and the zest I have for life since revisiting that part of myself that went into hiding. See, I'm doing a Christmas ritual. Oh my God. Listen, I'm getting a Christmas tree this year. Baby, 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 babe. We have to go somewhere together today. I know you're listening. 11:22. You know I'm not playing. 11:22. Let's go to, what is that place? Let's go to At Home. I need to go to At Home today to find my tablescape for the event. At Home is where it's at. That is where we're going. But y'all, I'm getting a Christmas tree this year. Dream and I have not, in the 11 years of Dream and I being together and the many Christmases we spent together, we've never gotten a Christmas tree. But because of the healing work that I'm doing, me, myself, my inner child healing, I'm getting a Christmas tree this year. And that's the way that we're supposed to live our lives. That's how we come out of hiding. That is how we stop hiding in plain sight by conforming to the community. I'm not conforming to the community. I am doing what my soul, my spirit is needing me to do in order for me to fulfill my purpose, in order to fulfill my life calling. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So a lot of people in the spiritual community, they don't get Christmas trees. They don't celebrate Christmas. Oh, it's a pagan thing. They're harvesting your energy. For me right now, it's me calling back my innocence, because my innocence was snatched on Christmas Eve. And because I'm no longer, see, maybe a part of me was okay saying, nah, I'm not going to get a Christmas tree, or nah, I don't need Christmas gifts, because there was a part of me that resented Christmas, right? Like on Christmas Eve, when I lived in Williamstown, I don't know how old I was, my mother's boyfriend broke into our house and held us hostage on Christmas Eve. It was one of the worst days of my life. It was by far the scariest day of my life. It's still the scariest day of my life. It tops the scariest day of my life. It was the day where I didn't know if my brothers and I and my mother were going to live, literally. I didn't know if we were going to live on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day is when the police finally came to us. You know, the police really don't be rushing. Or maybe they were afraid because it was a hostage situation. Maybe they couldn't just come in. But we spent hours fighting with this man, fighting for our lives. Tied my mother up with a phone cord, snatched the phone plug out. We had a white phone. This one, you had to pick a phone that hang up like this, that one, right? With the little squiggly cord. Snatched that cord out, tied up my mother's arms with that, and sat her down on the floor. Told me and my brothers if we moved, something bad was going to happen. This is on Christmas Eve. We got the tree, we got gifts, we got all the things. See, one of the things that allowed me to make peace with this part of my past just last week and putting myself in my mother's shoes was how much, no matter how much poverty we lived in, no matter how much abuse we experienced, we felt my mother's love. I felt my mother's love. I know my mother's love. That was one of the legacy pieces that has been let down through the matriarchs of my family, is we love our children. And not even through the matriarchs of our family, but my family is a family that loves, and I mean loves deeply. You look at my brothers and how they love their children, how they love their nieces and their nephews. If you look at how I love my nieces and my nephews, if you look at how my mother loves her grandchildren, we have love in our family. So, and to have love in your family in environments that are filled with hell means you have God while being surrounded by hell. Because that's what it was. We were in a state of lack, but we would never know it. We never knew it. We never knew it. And I received the confirmation of that spiritually when I was driving through my old apartment with the kids. I was driving through my old apartment with the kids, and I was like, can y'all believe mommy lived here? And they were like, yeah, it's kind of nice. And then then also the other mind was like, but why did you live in an apartment? I was like, well, this is what my mama could afford, right? This is where we were at. But I think there was one part of my mind that was so fragmented and avoidant of the didn't want to look like what I've been through, or didn't want to sound like what I've been through, or just wanted to make sure that people did not know what was going on. And you know, that's how we're trained. Again, that's how we hide in plain sight. Hiding in plain sight means putting on the face of being okay, wearing the mask. Is joining that community, is doing that thing that everybody thinks you should do. I got visuals of this in my own life. It was so, people were asking me like, Desiree, like, why would you quit teaching and being a head volleyball coach? That's crazy. That, like, no, stick to the program, work the job and retire. I chose to do something different. So I'm saying all of this to you to say, come out of hiding. You're safe. I'm holding space for you. It's time for you to carry yourself energetically. It's time for you to allow the fullness of who you are to be embodied, at least at a greater capacity than where you are right now, right? Like sometimes we're here, and spirit is like, let's just stretch a little bit. And that's what the winter solstice is. That's what the new moon is. The new moon is setting that new intention. The winter solstice is residing in the darkness of the womb in order to be rebirthed. It's not easy being reborn. It's not easy shifting identities. It's not easy embodying something new. It takes a stretch. I'm here to tell you that it's required. And I'm here to tell you that it's the parts of you that you've been hiding because at some point you needed to, that actually support your expansion. You know, one of the things that was missing from my mother in that time when I go back and observe was sacred sisterhood. My mother did not have sisterhood. That's one thing that she lacked that I always strived to have for myself, to be a safe space for women, for girls, for friends. Like when I was in elementary school, my friends were coming to me with their problems. Naturally, it was just something that I just had. My mother never had that. My mother could not trust the women that were around her. I remember one time, my mom had let a single mother and her 3 kids come live with us. Crazy. My mom is a single mom, 2 sons and a daughter. She lets a woman with her 2 daughters and their son come live with us in our 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. My brother and my brothers and I, we shared one room. We had a bunk bed. My younger brother and I, we slept in the bottom bunk. My other brother slept in the top bunk. My mother slept in her own room. And then that family, when they came to live with us, they slept in our living room. They just made pallets on the floor. And then every day they just picked up their pallet, put it in the closet. We moved around, got dressed, whatever. My mom has that kind of loving heart. She's going to look out. So she lets this lady come stay with us. And it's one weekday night. We're all kind of spread out in the living room because they're living with us. We're all kind of spread out in the living room. And the mom, the other mom, she comes with snacks. And me and my brothers, we're asking for some snacks because, like, we like snacks. And she says, no, we can't have snacks. Imagine the audacity of this woman to tell my mother's children, whose house she's living in, whose house they're taking up space in, that we can't have some damn snacks. Right then and there, my mama said, pack your shit, you gotta go. That's exactly how my mama said it. I mean, precisely to a T, I sound like my mama. That's a part of my healing. A part of my healing journey right now is being okay sounding like my mother. Because my mother well, she's softened up a lot now, but when I was growing up, she was always very strong. And I could feel how she intimidated people. That was one of my gifts. I could feel how when my mother came in the room, this big lioness Leo energy. Mind you, I have a Leo Chiron, so you see that mirroring effect between me and my mother, which this healing work is the very thing that I'm learning to embody, which supports my sacred work, but I'll talk about that another day. I used to be able to feel my mother come in and intimidate people. She was like the big bad bitch that just walked in the room. I could see how everybody, it took strong women to be able to hold space and sit next to my mom confidently. A lot of women cowered. or they know how to play their role. That's what I observed from my mother. I didn't like that energy. I didn't want people to be afraid of me. And funny enough, even with me not wanting people to be afraid of me, they still was afraid of me. So why would I hide that part of myself? That bold, strong, lioness leader part of myself, authoritative part of myself. You see what I mean? But I did for so long. I was like, oh no, they're going to be upset if I tell them the truth. They're going to be upset if I. No, that was me hiding. Anyways, I used to observe that. And so that's one of those things with my mother that I kind of rejected. And as I've been going through this inner child, wounded child energy healing and connecting with that part of myself that was abandoned, that was frozen, that hid, as I've been doing that, I realized that my mother is my hero. I told y'all this. My mother is so damn resilient. She's a fucking rock star, superstar. Like, I can't believe I had the audacity to kind of judge her. So now I was hiding in judgment of my mother, which was me judging myself because I am my mother. And a lot of what she did, I repeated. And a lot of what she did, I've done the alchemy on. But I've had to look at both sides as blessings. Because I saw myself repeating some of my mother's cycles when I was in college. You know, there was a lot of things about my mother that I too was embodying and kind of resented. But I had just decided, you know what, I'm going to do the alchemy. I'm going to do the alchemy. I'm a save some of the alchemy that I did for the Sacred Sister Circle because it's too juicy, too intense. I be telling y'all I got a lot of shit that I got to share with y'all, but I got to share it in a sacred space. YouTube, everybody be coming through, but the Sacred Sister Circle, that's for the exclusive women who are about their business, right? Who really about their healing, connecting and serving. They want to connect with other spiritual women. They're on their healing journey, not because they feel like they got to fix themselves or change things about themselves, but because they know that they're always evolving. And then, sis, you got to be in service. You got to know what you got to show. You got to give us something. The Sacred Sister Circle, you should be there, right? You should be there. So we'll talk more in detail about some of the aspects of this rebirth that are deep, that I've had to embrace about myself through lessons learned from my mother. I just want to say, we have this ability through accepting ourselves. That's all it really is. It really is just a deep level of acceptance. If you could accept yourself, you'll come out of hiding and you'll let yourself be seen. The more you let yourself be seen for who you are, for what you've been through, and I can just tell you what I'm feeling and experiencing. The abundance comes way quicker. You can just see your fortune. The manifestation, way faster. It's so much easier to live life when you are just authentic. It is so much easier to live life when you are just free. When you've just said, you know what, I'm accepting me. I'm no longer conforming. I'm no longer trying. I'm no longer performing. I'm just embracing me. I have so much content to come out where I'm going to show you the ebbs and flow and the waves of this experience, okay? But I love you. The winter solstice readings are now available. Go get them. I will be helping you to decode all of these things in your life. We're going to do it together. Listen, the first 9 people to get their reading, you're getting it for $55, right? You're getting it for $55. Spirit says something about the 55 that we're tapping into. It's about the quick channels. It's the lightning. It's the bringing down these downloads that are really going to make a difference. And so tap in. After the first 9 people, price is going up to $110 to welcome in this 10-year that we got going on. All right. I'll be dropping more information and more insight about this frequency that we are experiencing. I thank y'all for always showing up. I'm so grateful to be a mirror and reflect this to y'all. Ladies, I will be seeing y'all in Patreon, where we will be having the live women's winter winning season wine gathering. Ooh. Clock that tea, sis. Clock that tea. I actually got to get off of here because I still have to go shopping. I have so many other little things that I need to do, and I got to get to it. All right. Peace and love, fam. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Get your reading, and I'll see you soon. Peace.